Hi, welcome back to Joshcore Season 2. We are standing outside of the beautiful monolith starter base that we made in the last episode, and in today's episode, I have a huge plan. We're going to beat the Ender Dragon today, and also get a very big cobblemon advancement completed. That cobblemon advancement is right here, valued Eevee. Evolve Eevee into 8 different forms. Now, we already have one form, of course, that is our Cybertruck, our Jolteon here, and we already have 7 other Eevees in our PC ready to evolve here, so it's just a matter of time, and we can get that done. But first, before we do all of the cobblemon stuff, I need to beat the Ender Dragon. I mean, this is episode 4 and we're already off to a slow start. Normally, I'm beating the Ender Dragon pretty early on in my playthroughs of Minecraft. However, this time it's taken too long. The main reason I'm going to beat the Ender Dragon is to get an Elytra and honestly shulker boxes. I've been living out of like these couple of chests for so long and I don't have any storage at all in here. I built this entire tower and I'm just not using it at all. So I'm also looking for, my Eyes of Ender. First things first though, I'm going to show off this cool thing that I worked on in between episodes. If we press this button here, it opens this like hidden staircase and it brings us to our nether portal. I just didn't like the nether portal being on the surface, so it's a little bit more hidden here. And the only reason I'm back over here is I'm going to get ourselves a bow. Now dropping down to the very old skeleton XP farm, and in here we should have some bows I put aside here, and this should allow us to get a power 5 bow with all of the other good details, like punch and all of that. So let's work on combining it. We have 2 power 3s for flame and power 4. 2 punches will get us punch 2 and infinity, which is what I'm going to use at first here till I can upgrade it. I need a little bit more durability for that. Okay, let's get some more levels. Now we can make ourselves a power 5 bow, and then all we have to do is put the punch 2 and infinity on it. We also have Unbreaking 1, but I'm going to get ourselves Unbreaking 3 with the villager book trades. Okay, we now should be able to combine these into this bow. Now all we need is Unbreaking 3 on this. So let's get a couple of Unbreaking books here. Going to actually buy 1 more and then some mending books from this guy as well. And then we'll put Unbreaking 3 on this and call it 2 less inventory slots, because that's what a bow is. We only really need to carry 1 arrow around, which is what I kind of like to have early game. Later down the line, when we have more arrows, I'll probably switch this to a mending bow. Additionally, let's combine some of these Unbreaking 3 and mending books. Well, there goes our anvil. That's great. Now we have ourselves a Pokemon shield. I'm now going to mend this up with some of these guys down here, so let's take care of that. All right, our shield is now fully mended here. Let's go take out this Ender Dragon. Alright, I've gathered some blocks and, some other things, so let's see where this is. As I do this journey, you may also notice our Pokemon on our left side of our screen are much higher levels than they were at the end of last episode. That's just because in between episodes, I've just been battling, smaller Pokemon when I see them, catching occasionally the ones that I think are cool or I might do something with later down the line. However, for the most part, we're probably going to keep the same kind of lineup we have right now. I'm just explaining it now, just in case you guys are wondering why the levels seem to go up between each episode or even between each clip in an episode. Well, in all my searching, I found myself a Mesa Desert Village. I'm actually going to write these coords down because we might need some of these blocks for our future builds in the future. So let me just, screenshot these coords. I'm bone towards this thing. I threw a pearl earlier. I'm not going to do it again because if I lose it, I lose it. But I think it's in this mountain thing. So we're going to have to dig in here and then go down. Oh, there we go. We are in. Oh man, here's the library. Might as well get that armor trim while we're here. There we go. And of course, knowing my luck, none of these were filled. So we need all 12. There we go. Let's do this. Well, you might be wondering, Josh, why are you in this hole? Turns out, I've now beaten the dragon, but in the middle of this, my video crashed. Yeah, we're having a ton of issues with the old recording process here. However, the dragon is now beaten. You can check the chat, for example. Oh yeah, I entered the portal, I shot the dragon, and then I killed the dragon. So yeah, we're gonna get the egg here. It's tradition to get the egg, and there we go. Now we're gonna go and find ourselves a Elytra. I just got here, and now I realized I could totally just use this guy to fly around. I might just use him. Oh, here we go. And it has an end ship. Perfect. There is the Elytra, baby. Let's go. Call this Josh's wings. And we can fly, baby. And there's another one twice the size. Alright, I think that is that end city completely looted. Let's get out of here. Now that we have ourselves an Elytra, the dragon has fully been beaten. Time to work on the second project of today's episode, which are the Eevees. Now, of course, we already had our Jolteon, so that's already one of them checked off the box here. 4 of them are actually really straightforward. However, 3 of them are going to be pretty interesting. If we open up this menu here, we can actually see the friendship level that some of our Pokemon are at. That is basically marked at how long they are out of their Pokeball. For example, this Onion Turtle is in his Pokeball, but when he's out of his Pokeball, he'll get a friendship a little bit quicker. Now, of course, these Pokemon that I have here are also ones that have been in a lot of battles and have not died. Therefore, their friendship friendship levels are pretty high. This pigeon, for example, I only really take him out when I need to fly, so his friendship is really low. Some of these Eevees actually need a high friendship level to actually evolve, so we're going to swap in a ton of these guys here so that we can get our friendship level up. Now that we have some of these guys, we're just going to throw them all out of their balls and just let them roam around for a bit and wait for their friendship levels to increase. As you can see, they're all at 120. We need them to be 150 and above. This guy's is 49, for example, and this guy is really important. If we want to evolve someone into a Sylveon, we need to have a fairy type move, which this guy already has, which is Baby Doll Eyes. However, this guy also needs to have a friendship level 150, so he's going to be sitting out for a while. While I'm waiting for some of these guys to actually befriend me and get higher friendships, I'm going to work on moving all of this mess of just shulkers and chests downstairs into a basement area. Now, I originally talked about actually having my storage room be in here, but this is like way too small, so I actually made this staircase downwards here, and it leads into this area, which I hope to make a future storage area. Oh, these Eevees are going to keep teleporting. This is going to drive me insane. All right, so let's work on transporting some of the chests down here and sorting. Guys, I'm trying to place a floor here. This is going to drive me mad. Why did I just decide to do this with the Eevees around? All right, so this room is now fully decorated here, and I gotta say it turned out pretty good. However, once we add the chests in here, just back here, it will look a lot better. But let's check in on the Eevees, see where their friendships are at. The only one that really matters is this guy. He's at a 69, which is a great number, but not what we want for friendship. So I'm gonna work on getting the chest down there, and hopefully their friendship will increase even more. All right, as you can tell from up here, all of the chests have been moved down here, and I'm just removing the last of everything here and going to bring everything down, which even includes my dog here, and this area already looks better. If you come down here, you can see everything I owned is now sorted into all of these chests, minus this one, which will move. This is just a whole ton of sugarcane that I had way too much of. And for now, I've just placed like everything back here. It will probably change. Sit down, Jack Black. But for now, this is what my storage looks like. I'll leave it on screen for a little bit in case you want to, take a picture of it. I always find it fascinating to see how different like YouTubers like outlay their storage, but this is basically how it's going to be. In the meantime, all these Eevee that are still out there still need their friendship to go out. However, if we look back in the PC, all of these guys are all set to go. Their friendship is all above 150. Now, I could evolve those guys into different Eevee forms, but I think it's best to wait.
Approximately 10 hours later.
All right, guys, I've left my computer running with Joshcore open in the background overnight, and we have been sitting AFK, and all of our Eevees are ready to evolve. So let's do all the ones that are based on friendship right now. As you can see, so many of them are ready to evolve. So first things first, I need to make sure I evolve this one into Sylveon, because this is the only one that we can evolve into Sylveon, because it's the only fairy type. Let's evolve this guy into Embryon, and let us sleep through the day. And now that it's the day, we can actually evolve this last guy into Espeon. That is all the friendship typed Eevees out of the way. These next ones are going to need some certain stones here. So let's get them out. We need the water stone. We need the ice stone, which is the only one we have. We have a ton of fire stones here, and then we need a leaf stone. So we can get this guy, and he will become a Vaporeon. Get this guy to become Glaceon. This guy becomes Flareon, one of my personal favorites. I love the way his tail looks. Like, look at that nice bushy tail. Beautiful. And last but not least, we'll get the leaf stone out to get Leafeon, and we're about to get the advancement right now. Bam. Valued VVs. A very big, grindy advancement, which for some reason isn't one of those purple advancements that does the cool sound effect. It's just a basic one. But there we go. All 8 Eeveelutions have been collected here. That was a grind. I'm not going to just have them sit around in here. Let's actually take them back out, and let's name some of these guys. Vaporeon, let's name him H2O. H2O like water. Glaceon, let's name him Global Warming. Don't have a space for G, but he's Global Warming. And Flareon, since it's hot, we'll just name it Your Mum. We'll call Leafeon Mother Nature. Espeon, we'll just call it the purple one. And then this Umbreon, let's just call him like Waffles or something. I don't know. Ran out of names. At least now they kind of have some personality before they just sit in my PC for the end of time. Now let's get our full lineup back here, now that we have these guys. Weirdly enough, also, we don't need the pigeon. I mean, I only ever used him for flying around. Let's like Waffles in or something. I don't know. I always like this style. Also, give this guy a EXP share. Nice. Now he'll level up a little bit quicker. So some time has gone by, and as you can tell from the chat, Waffles has been leveling up, but he hasn't done any fighting. I actually took all the XP shares off of all my Pokemon, did some battles with these guys as they're obviously better levels and better stats, and Waffles has just been silently upgrading in the background. Probably a strat I'm going to use whenever I want any Pokemon to level up. Alright folks, with that I'm going to call it an episode for today. We got a ton of stuff done. We obviously beat the Ender Dragon, got ourselves an Elytra, all the types of Eevees to unlock this advancement. Valued VVs is now complete on our advancement tab, and we are coming closer and closer to getting every single advancement in cobblemon mod. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more.